do you suck at consistency? And is consistency one of your downfalls that you're just like, oh, I know everybody is telling me that consistency is key and I need to be more consistent, but I just can't seem to get things going and get into a consistent flow? You're not alone. I have been I've sucked at consistency myself. But what I'm going to kind of share with you today is what I have found how I found that actually just starting consistency in one area of my life has actually kind of rippled into other areas. And so I've just been really sort of in awe of it in a way, and really interested about how just beginning to be consistent in one thing can actually lead into other areas of your life, which is super cool. So that's what we're going to be talking about today. It's Monday, so it's Mindset Monday today. I hope you're well. Hope you had an amazing weekend. I've just kind of got out the shower, so everything's a bit late today, but I'm going to kind of share some of that with you today. In case we're meeting for the first time, firstly, hey, welcome. Thanks so much for joining me. My name is Jenny Stevens. I help coach and train home business entrepreneurs, help you to be able to make more sales and impact without the self-doubt by building your business online. So I help you with the mindset piece to really help you to get over that imposter syndrome and believe in yourself and fully trust your own intuition to build the business that you love. And also I help you with the marketing side of things. So I love teaching people about automation, how to leverage your time so you can work smart instead of hard and build your business around the lifestyle that you actually want. So that's what I do. So let's dive in. I'm going to keep this short and sweet today. So what I wanted to talk about, like I say, about consistency. So I'm really curious. Would you consider yourself to be pretty consistent in your business? Or do you think this is an area that needs some work? And again, there's no, don't feel any kind of guilt, shame, whatever, okay? Please don't feel that. I'm just really curious to know. I'm very open, very honest. The fact that this has been one of my downfalls. Being consistent in certain areas of my business, not all, but certain things has been a struggle for me. And, I've been in groups of other entrepreneurs, group coaching, mentoring people, and I know that it's not just me. And actually the people it's one of those things that you kind of hear everyone saying, just be consistent, and consistent is kind of the key to the success. And whilst I know that, and whilst I tell that to my clients and my audience, it's still something that I have struggled with. So that's why I'm very honest about it, because I don't want people to ever, I practice what I preach, and I'm very authentic. And if I'm lacking in certain areas, I say it, because at the end of the day, I don't pretend to be anything that I'm not. And you shouldn't too. So consistency has been one of those areas that's been a bit up and down, okay? I have times when I'm really consistent and then times when I'm not. And I can definitely see the difference in my results when I'm not. And so, that then helps to go, shit, I know that this is true, but why can't I just get myself, what's stopping me from being consistent? How come, those of us that we know what to do, but yet we're just not doing it. So something that's been really interesting over the last 3 months is, as you know, I've talked about it quite a lot over the last few months. So I recommitted to you, to myself, to my business, I wanted to set up a new routine. Okay, I've got certain things that are in a routine. Like a Monday is always my sort of analytics day. I pull together all of my metrics and my numbers, and I do a bit of a quick assessment on how many leads did I do, how many sales, how are my website visitors doing, all that kind of stuff. How's my engagement on social media? I kind of do a little analytics hour. That's every Monday. So that has been religious for the last 3 and a bit years. There's been other areas like Facebook Lives. I used to be very ad hoc because I kind of rebel against myself. Who can relate to that. Just give me a one if you ever rebel against yourself and what you tell yourself to do, because again, I know I'm not alone. You know, so I find that I sometimes rebel against the consistency, and you know, I don't like to do what I'm told to do, you know. So if I've got lots of people saying you should be doing Facebook Lives 5 times a week, I'm like, no, I fucking shouldn't. I'm going to do what works for me. So I can be quite rebellious at times. And that just doesn't help anyone. I mean, you know, it's got to be what is right for you. And so some people, I've got friends that absolutely crush it and they do Facebook Lives 5 times a week. Crack on. That's great for you. That's not what I want to do in my business. That's not how I want to run my business personally. So, you know, I found a new consistent method that works for me. So as you know, so in January, well, kind of December, but December, I did this whole recommitment. I was like, right, I'm going to set up a brand new schedule to do from January. And that's where I created my weekly Facebook Live show called the Brilliantly You Business Show that I love doing. And that is a non-negotiable. And this is the thing. So if you're ever struggling with consistency, then I say, I'm just sharing kind of what's working for me. And, you know, you've got to do what works for you. Okay. So I recommitted in January and I started this weekly Facebook Live. I was like, I'm going to do one Facebook Live every week that is full of value. Like I put a lot of time and effort into it. I turn it into lots of other different pieces of content so I can get the most out of it. And then I also do this Mindset Monday, which is a bit more of an informal chat, you know. Facebook Live. So I was like, right, I'm going to do Mondays and Thursdays. Thursdays is like the big daddy, you know, and then Mondays is kind of a, hey, give a quick little tip to help you start off your day and your week well, and that kind of thing. So I was like, okay, yeah, that's doable. And it was my non-negotiables, no matter what. And so that's how I started. So from January, that was my new schedule of showing up to do Facebook Lives. And then I have my plan of then how I repurpose that content. I did a show about that, which you can check out on my blog, about repurposing content if you need any help with that. So that was like my new consistent schedule. And like anything, getting started is the hardest piece, isn't it? Like with anything in your life, if you want to start getting fit, if you want to start eating better, if you want to start a new anything, the hard bit is just getting started, isn't it? And so that's what I found to be the most difficult piece, was the problem with when things are more ad hoc, like I'll just do a Facebook Live when I feel like it, or I'll write an email and send it to my list when I'm in the mood, kind of thing. And that's just it's not gonna cut it, unfortunately. Like I did that for a couple of years because it just kept getting deprioritized and that wasn't effective. So first off, I kind of challenge you to assess what's going on in your business. If you're not making sales on a consistent basis, take a look to see, okay, what is going on? How am I showing up for my audience? And this is for you to ask yourself. So how are you showing up for your audience? How many times are you actually making an offer? How many times are you encouraging people to message you or to go to a link and buy something? Or if you're generating leads and building an email list, how many times are you putting that offer of joining your list or getting your freebie, or if you're going straight for the sale, how many times are you actually offering your products, services out there? And it's a really great question to start with because it helps you to see, oh, did it like once. Well, no wonder you're not making loads of sales necessarily if you're only, or it might be zero. So a good question to ask yourself every week maybe is, how many times did I actually put my offer out there? And see what that kind of stirs up for you. But like anything, once you actually start a routine, you know, and you get going with it, then it becomes much easier. So if you are struggling to be consistent, then there's a couple of things that might help you. One, are you trying to do too much? Are you trying to kind of bite off more than you can chew? If you at the moment are kind of doing a Facebook Live once a week or once every couple of weeks, and it's a bit ad hoc, well, it might not be effective to then go, right, I'm going to go live 4 or 5 times a week. It might be that it's too much. And so you need to scale back a bit and go, right, okay, maybe I'm going to start with 1 to 2. Something that is actually doable for you, especially if your like day-to-day life is very different right now, especially with once lockdown happened last year, suddenly people had kids at home and having to homeschool and having to maybe do a job at home and the business. So life might be different than maybe what it was 18 months ago. And that's okay to be able to reevaluate and go, okay, this routine maybe isn't actually effective right now. And so that's the other thing, is to be able to change it. You can change it if you need to. So the cool thing about consistency, what I've noticed, so just from starting my business side of things, so January, so I'm coming up to 3 months now, well, 4, I guess, the end of my 3rd month, should I say, and I'm going to do an evaluation, and I'm already starting to see some things not quite working so much, and I might need to do a bit of change, but my Thursday is absolutely, that is staying. But the Monday, I'm like, I'm not sure, I might change the format slightly, I don't know. So I'm going to do a bit of a deep dive into how have my last 3 full months gone with this routine, and kind of assess it and go, right, how's it gone? Has it what kind of engagement, what are the pros, what's worked about it, what hasn't worked about it, and what might I kind of change to then make it work more effectively? Some great questions to ask yourself. But what I found from starting just that new non-negotiable schedule for showing up, that's mostly what the schedule was. The behind the scenes stuff I'm fine with, but it's the stuff that makes me actually, say, hi people, how are you doing? Give some great value, show up, say hello and whatnot. Providing content was a big piece of it. So that's the piece that I really knuckled down with and created a brand new consistent schedule for myself and for you. So the things that I found in terms of the ripple effect was I then have been a hell of a lot more consistent with my fitness. So if you do follow me on my stories, I share quite a lot of my little daily exercise and stuff. It's kind of a way for me to be accountable, to share it. And also I just love to inspire other people, because I've been inspired from my friends who have really kind of upped their fitness game. And I was doing regular exercise anyway. So I was doing maybe anywhere between 1 and 3, maybe 4 on like a really good week, but probably between 1 and 3 workouts a week. So I was doing that anyway. So kind of from lockdown anyway, but certainly kind of in November, I really started my kind of new health kick. I really wanted to knuckle down a bit more. So I started tracking my calories. I got like a personalized calorie amount so I could make sure that I'm in a calorie deficit. I was doing regular exercise. I bought this Apple Watch, I think in July, August last year, and I wanted it. I wanted something to be able to help me to track my activity and to help improve it, which it absolutely has. So I was consistent, but it wasn't enough. So again, I was like, okay, my weight's not really shifting very much. So I need to, again, assess, go, what's going on? So that's where I kind of knuckled down with tracking my calories, just using like MyFitnessPal, and increasing my exercise. And now I've just finished my 3rd week yesterday of doing at least 30 minutes every single day. Normally weekends, I would be like, oh no, you don't work out at weekends. No, weekends are for kind of fun and chilling out and just vegging on the sofa kind of thing. And then 3 weeks ago, I was like, you know what, I'm going to do a spin session on a Saturday, and it's turned into now doing that every week. And then now I even do something lighter on a Sunday. So I'm really chuffed that actually now the consistency has spread out into my activity, my exercise, my eating, tracking and all that kind of stuff. And it's great. Like I can see my body is changing, which is awesome. But then I've also noticed that I'm now more consistent with like my skincare, and I'm doing my little skincare routine, which again, my skincare routine was have a shower every day, and I've got like some exfoliating scrub, face wash. That was my skin, and moisturizer. That was my skincare routine. Now I'm like, okay, I'm 38 this year, starting to get a few more extra wrinkles. I'm like, okay. And so now I've got like some proper cleanser and toner and some serum and stuff. And I've even noticed that my consistency with that, I'm now doing that every day. So it's really weird how it's like this ripple effect. So it's kind of cool. And I think, is it subconscious? I don't know. But this is just kind of what I'm finding for myself. So if you have got areas, it's not just about business, but if you are finding that you want to get back into a new routine, and again, it's very easy to look at what we used to do. Like I was always like, oh, well, I used to do a weekly blog every week, and I used to go swimming 3 times a week, and I used to do this, and I used to do that. That can sometimes bring up a lot of kind of guilt and like, oh, I'm not there anymore. So again, I just want to say it's okay. What I did is, rather than always looking back, is you're starting now, today. Because you're probably different than what you were 2, 3, 5, 10 years ago, if it was kind of down to fitness and stuff. Your life might have changed. Your body might have changed. You might be older and not have so much energy. Like me, like my knees, my joints are playing up. It's like, fuck's sake, I'm 37 for Christ's sake, and I've got dodgy knees already. So it's kind of like, just start from today, like today is a fresh start. Today is, okay, what do you want to do going forwards based on who you are now, rather than looking back and feeling bad and feeling guilty about the stuff that you used to do and, oh, I'm not doing that anymore. I used to be so fit and healthy. Okay, but you're starting from today. You've got a new journey. So just kind of look at, like I say, look at what things you're wanting to be more consistent in. If it is your business, then okay, cool. Think about what is feasible, what's reasonable for you to do in terms of showing up, creating content, providing value, what posts, stuff like that. What's reasonable for you now? What's reasonable for you to do to fit in? Is, like I say, if you're kind of starting from a bit all over the place, then maybe just start with once a week. Maybe do, okay, I'm going to commit like I've done. I'm committing to one Facebook. For me, it's 2. There's this one. But my Thursday one is like my main, that's my real content creation that has 10 times more intention behind it. And that's really for kind of the business growth. This is more of an informal check-in, like a just sort of inspiration sort of thing. But I still put thought into this, and this is still my non-negotiable. But is it once a week for you? Is it twice? If 3+ feels more and you think I'm not going to be consistent at that, it's better to do less, but do it well. Do it with, really get the quality there, because you're going to be more effective for yourself and your audience and your results if you do less, but make it better quality, rather than putting out sort of mediocre quality more often, So like I say, so kind of start there. Think about, okay, what's reasonable for me? And I've certainly found that having a set day and time, I used to be like, well, I'll go live 3 times a week, but it will kind of be when I can fit it in. And that just didn't really work. But again, find what's right for you. Just because what works for me, it may not work for you. And so do what feels good for you. But certainly I have found, and I know lots of my friends have found the same, that if they do have a set day and time with when they're going to go live, or certain days that you are going to send an email to your list, it just makes it so much easier. And so then you know what you're doing, and you haven't got to then spend time thinking, oh God, when am I going to do that? When can I fit this into my day? This is a really busy day today. And if you've got it in your calendar and right, Mondays, my Mondays it's a tiny little bit more flexible. I was 12 and I was finding that 12 was a bit of a rush by the time I maybe do any food shopping, do my exercise, shower and whatnot. So I'm like, then I moved it to 12:30 over the last couple of weeks. So I was a few minutes late doing it today. But Thursday is like on the dot, 2:00, I'm live. So think about, okay, when is reasonable for you? Look at your calendar. Do you need to move anything around to make sure that you can absolutely always do that then? And then say, just commit to yourself. Commit to your audience. And that was something that I kind of found that helped. Rather than just being about me, it's like, well, it's not about me. It's about me helping other people. So I always kind of kept in my mind about showing up for the person that needed to hear whatever message I had to share that day. There's somebody that needs you today. There's somebody that really wants to hear from you. There's someone that's going to think, oh my God, this is just what I needed today. There's someone that's going to be like, oh, I was really struggling with whatever it is you're going to talk about. Amazing, you're talking about this today. So have that person in your mind if you're ever struggling, going, oh, I just can't be bothered today. I'm really not feeling like it. Think about that person that needs to hear from you today. And like I say, and just start, even just say, okay, I'm going to commit to this schedule for 3 months and do it and then assess and go, right, okay, how has this worked? Or if it's 2 months, but I think you need to kind of give it long enough. I started to see the first month was slow, but then I really saw that in February, I had 4 new clients, people reach out to me wanting to work with me. And then it's continuing to trickle in March now. So, but I already had, a decent sized audience and stuff there already. But even still, from being really inconsistent to just in January was boom, being more consistent. I actually saw pretty quick results, which was awesome. So like I say, give yourself a set time that you think, yeah, I'm gonna stick this out for 2 or 3 months. I think at least a month. Sometimes it takes time. So maybe say I kind of said, I didn't even really set out. I was like, this is just what I'm gonna do. But I'm now deciding actually every quarter, so every 3 months, I'm gonna reassess and just see, okay, is this still working? Does something need to change? Does something need to give? I've got plans now of like, okay, I can see the areas that it's taking more time in my week and some things that I'm going to be getting some help soon, which is really cool. So, don't worry about thinking about this having to be the same forever. If you can keep at least something consistent for a decent long time, awesome. But if it's about, what days you email or how many posts you do a day or how many stories or the kinds of content that you do, that's a bit more flexible. But, commit to yourself and to your audience for maybe 3 months. Reevaluate, ask yourself what worked, what didn't work, and what might be one thing that I might do differently next time. And that's just a really great place to start. And just see where it kind of ripples out. Like I say, for me, it's been my exercise, my eating, my skincare, And so see what it kind of does for you. It'd be really interesting. Let me know if you kind of notice that things start to spill out into other areas. So I don't know if it's coincidence or what, but it was just, I just found it really interesting. I was like, God, I'm being a hell of a lot more consistent in so many other areas, which is pretty cool. So anyway, that's what I wanted to share with you today. Consistency is one of those things that everyone harps on about it. And I was kind of begrudgingly like, damn it, they're right, But just know that if you do struggle with that, you're not alone. So many people do. And usually it's the thing that you're resisting being consistent about is, again, it's one of those things you're like, damn, they're right. But it is true. Like one of those things that you tend to procrastinate on and you're resisting doing consistently is usually the thing that you really need to do. But again, don't overcommit to yourself. Start small. It's better to increase than decrease. But again, even if you do have to decrease, it's all right. You're not going to die. No one's going to be like, oh my God, you suck. Life happens. So again, it's not the end of the world, even if you do. But I would say, again, start smaller and then you can build up. Because the longer you do it, the more effective you'll get. You'll be able to do things quicker, more efficiently. So, it becomes easier the longer you do it. Whereas in the beginning, it might be a bit fumbling. You might be sort of figuring stuff out. and tweaking things like, okay, let's just see how this is working. And then before you know it, you know, you're cranking out this stuff so much easier because it's now part of your routine. So I just wanted to kind of share what I found for myself. Like I say, exercise now for me is becoming so much easier. Working out at weekends is now becoming easier. Yesterday, although it was the first day in the 3 weeks, I was like, oh, I really can't be bothered. But I was like, it's 30 minutes out of my day. It's nothing. So I just got on the bike, watched some TV on Netflix while I was cycling, and I got it done. And so it's always that after feeling, isn't it? You know, you're like, oh, I feel much, so now I've done it, I feel so much better. So just keep that in your mind anyway, all right? So if you want any help with consistency, just give me a shout if you want to have a chat about it, or you want any, you know, if you kind of think, is there something else that's standing in the way? You know, I have done work on my mindset to kind of help me to get over any self-doubt and imposter syndrome and stuff like that. So I think that's also contributed to it. So if you want to chat about any of that stuff, just get in my inbox and we can have a chat and see what you're struggling with, and I can see what might be the best fit for you. So happy to do that. All right. So I hope you have an amazing day. Hey Donna, nice to see you. Yeah, you said it's hard to follow through sometimes. It really is. And once you're in that, like, don't you find that once you're in a routine, it feels so much easier, but it's just getting into it that's the hardest piece. So like I say, just kind of commit to it. Say, right, I'm going to do this. And then just assess it and go, okay, how's this gone? What have I noticed that has worked about it? What results have come in? If it's just engagement at the moment, okay, if your engagement is increasing, awesome. That will eventually turn into it. So don't give up too soon, because it's that compound. And sometimes people just need to hear about your offer. They need to see your face. They need to hear about what it is you've got to share more than once, you know? So that's just the kind of reality of it. Anyway, thank you for joining me. Really nice to see you all. Have an amazing rest of your day, or make it an awesome week. Yes, Monday, end of the last week of the month. So make it a good one, and join me on Thursday for this week's Brilliantly You Business Show, where I'm going to be talking about the 4 money personality types. You can see what kind of money personality are you. So join me at 2:00 on GMT on Thursday. And yeah, say have an awesome day. See you soon. Bye.